Hi guys, just FPL here, welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'll be talking you guys through the Game Week 2 team selection and how did I do in Game Week 1, my rank and my transfer plans for Game Week 2. So a lot to talk about, let's jump into the video. So this is how I scored for Game Week 1, I scored a total of 72 points and to be fair, I am very happy with this points. It is in between, you could say slightly above the average, and it put me in the place of the top, around the 1 mil mark. So really happy, but a few key decisions which could have put me into the top 1 mil. Like for example, not starting Bailly and starting him over Perisic. So first, Ramsdale, Cancelo, James, Salah, Martinelli, and Haaland did give me their return. So Ramsdale kept a clean sheet against Crystal Palace and also did kick off game week 1, and it was a really good game for Arsenal. They controlled, dominated the first half, but then they did fall off in the second half. They did sit back, and Ramsdale made two big saves, which I thought it could have been at least one bonus point for Ramsdale, but he didn't end up with any bonus points. And to be fair, I don't care about these situations that much, but to see 1 point could come a long way for your rank, I will, care about the small details at the start of the season. So Ramsdale could have get the bonus points. I think he was robbed and he fully deserved with two big saves made in the game. Next, we have our Liverpool boys. We have Trent, Robertson, and Salah. Now, very disappointing for Liverpool. They did drew 2-2 to Fulham, but Salah did come back with some attacking returns. He got 1 goal, 1 assist, and 2 bonus points. Now, the game against Fulham, I did watch the second half, and to be fair, Salah wasn't the best on that day, but it just shows how good of a player he is. Even if he's not playing at his best, he will still get some attacking returns. Now, he did get a goal, and it was kind of a fairly lucky goal, to be fair. The Darwin made a mistake and it came right into him and he finished it off. But it is Mohamed Salah. He is the most owned captain in the game. Currently, he was captained by a lot of managers and he did deliver with some points. Now with Trent and Robertson, to be fair, when I was watching the game, I didn't see much of him. He wasn't much involved. And to be fair, he wasn't that, getting up the pitch. He was getting up the pitch, but he wasn't that involved in the attacking play. And Luis Diaz looked really well in the game. He hit the post and he got a goal disallowed. So currently, Luis Diaz look better than Robertson, but I won't be complaining because again, Game week 1, I did decide to go for Robertson because I think he will score the most points in the first 8 to 7 game weeks, and I will still stick to my decision. Next, we have Cancelo. Now, City did keep the clean sheet against West Ham. City played really well. They dominated West Ham. When they got the ball, West Ham, they just gave it back to City. City was dominant and they fully deserved the win. They were playing in like a 2-3-5 formation. Like Gundogan and De Bruyne was playing as they were advancing really high up, which kept Diaz and Ake playing at the 2 centre-backs, and which brought the fullbacks for City, Cancelo and Walker. They play an inverted role in the midfield. So they were kind of like a midfielder, which is very interesting to see because usually Kyle Walker will shift in and form a back 3 for City, but looks like they really want to go for the goals, and Walker is also playing the inverted role. So something to keep an eye on. Kyle Walker, he's a great option as well at 5 mil, and if he keep on starting, I will see myself going for him. Cancelo did get a yellow card, but that doesn't matter because he did end up with 2 bonus points. He was playing really well. I didn't watch the game, but looking at his stats, he fully deserved the bonus points. And City, again, the best defense in the league. They never fail to disappoint. Next, we have Ivan Perisic. Now, Perisic did come on for Tottenham when they were winning 4-1. He played 21 minutes and got 1 point. Now, Perisic did come on, so he didn't start. Sessegnon and Emerson did start. Now, I wasn't fully aware of the rumored leaks that Perisic wouldn't start. I think there were some rumors that he wouldn't be starting. So, for me, that doesn't matter now. I still think Perisic will be a good option come the coming game weeks. And it's just game week 1. I'll take the 1 point. But that just shows when Tottenham beating Southampton 4-1, with Ryan Sessegnon and Emerson Royal getting attacking returns, that just shows how important Spurs fullbacks are. And then I tell you, if Perisic get 90 minutes against a team like Wolves in the upcoming weeks, Wolves, Nottingham Forest, he will be a really good player and he will get that massive haul. Next we have Reece James. Now Reece James did get the clean sheet. Chelsea did get the clean sheet against Everton, and it was a good performance for Chelsea. They just couldn't convert their chances, and Everton played with a back three, so you could say it was a harder team to beat. But anyways, he did get the clean sheet. He played 90 minutes. He did get a yellow card, but he also got 2 bonus points. Then we have Martinelli here. Again, Arsenal did play really well, and to be fair, he could have got another goal. Jesus did link up, and Jesus did create a chance early on in the game, and he missed that, you could say, as a sitter, but then he did go on and get his goal. So that just shows how good Arsenal's attackers are. Jesus creating those chances, and if Martinelli could have scored, Jesus could have scored points as well. So Jesus, slightly disappointing, but with his ownership, it doesn't really matter if he scores or he blanks, because he's so highly owned that no one really cares. And even if he does score points, everyone will get them because his ownership is crazy. So next we have Neto in midfield. Now again, another disappointing one. He did create the goal for Wolves. He got the assist of the assist. He did cross the ball, and I believe Huang headed it, and then Poland's finished it. So Neto, he did create it. He was dribbling, 1v1ing and doing all those skills, but most importantly, he didn't end with any FPL points, and which again was disappointing to see. But he did look slightly one of the better players for Wolves during that game, so I will be keeping on to him. Moving on to the bench, Ward, he did start 1 point, Bailly 2 points, and Aston Villa was slightly really underperformed during the game. It was very disappointing for Aston Villa to lose 2-0 in their opening fixture. And then Andreas Pereira, 2 points. Archer, he did get some minutes, 1 point. Now Andreas Pereira did look really well against Liverpool. He did create a lot of chances, so there's one to keep an eye on. Let's jump into the Game Week 2 team selection. So Game Week 2 is here, and I will be talking you guys through my lineup and my transfer plan. Now the idea now is to roll the transfer for Game Week 2. Don't want to not planning any transfers, because the ideal situation, you get 2 transfers in Game Week 3, so it's easier for you to shift around players. So starting off in goal, we have Aaron Ramsdale. Now he plays Leicester at home, and to be fair, it's a really good fixture for Arsenal. Now this is again one of the slightly tougher ones, because after Crystal Palace and Leicester, they have Bournemouth, Fulham, Aston Villa, United, Everton and Brentford, so they still have a good run, and if they get a clean sheet here, I won't be surprised, because Arsenal are playing really well right now. But of course, they did concede some chances, and Ramsdale was there to stop those chances. So last year when they played Leicester, Ramsdale did announce himself to the world. So Leicester, I will not be surprised if Leicester score in this game. I fully expect it, because Leicester are a good side. They did score 2 past Brentford in their opening fixture, so they are a good attack. But again, I believe in the Arsenal's defense. William Saliba putting a man of the match performance, and if he keeps that up, I won't see Leicester scoring this game. So Ramsdale, he's here to stay. 5 mil. I hope Arsenal get the clean sheet, but I won't be surprised if Leicester do score. But also remember, Ramsdale picks up a lot of saves, and he also could get points from there. Next, we do have Trent AlexanderArnold. Now he's going nowhere. There is an argument to make that rep to sell Trent AlexanderArnold, but I think those arguments are just crazy, because he's a good option. He will still deliver, and it's just 1 game week. Football isn't played in 1 game week. Of course, the Premier League season has 38 game weeks, and that's just 1 out of 38 game weeks, 37 to go, and a lot of matches to come. So you can't just judge that 1 game week by his performance. Of course, Liverpool did drop off, and they will come back. They are still second best team in the league. They are still a very strong team. It's just, these results happen, and it's football. We have to get it. And Trent AlexanderArnold, he will still be a phenomenal option. Crystal Palace at home. Now again, Crystal Palace aren't the easiest team to beat. They did show that against Arsenal. They made it tough for Arsenal during the second half. But again, we have to remember, Liverpool are that strong team, and we know what Trent can perform on his day. He could get those massive attacking returns, and I won't be surprised if he get one here. So Liverpool has to bounce back, and they won't look to draw or lose 2 games in a row. I feel it's going to be a low scoring game, and hopefully Liverpool can keep that clean sheet. If not, Trent will still be advancing up the pitch and hopefully getting some attacking returns. And we're going to be doubling up with Andy Robertson. Now again, he's here to stay. No plans of taking him out. I was considering him taking out for Luis Diaz, and he looked really well. But again, It's the second game week. It's not the fifth or sixth game week. I don't want to be making transfers that early on in the season. We did build our teams not based on one game week, but you could say up to 4 to 5 game weeks. So he's here to stay, Robertson. It's just one game again. I will say again, patience is key. We have to be patient, and not every week our players will give us massive hauls. They will pull off a poor performance. Liverpool will surprise us. They will lose games. But Robertson, we know what he's capable of. Towards the end of last season, he pulled off an outstanding performance. And even during that Community Shield, he did play really well. So we know what he's capable of, and we have to be patient for those massive points. And this could be a game where Liverpool get the clean sheet against Crystal Palace again. We saw it in the game against Arsenal. Crystal Palace attack wasn't that good of a finishing attack. They didn't finish their chances, and Ramsey did keep those saves, and they did keep the clean sheet. So again, another possibility of getting the clean sheet, and Crystal Palace haven't converted their chances. So they are a poor finishing team, and hopefully Robertson and Trent can get some attacking returns, because they will play a massive role in the Liverpool team. Next, I do have Joao Cancelo. Now he plays Bournemouth at home, and look, it's the ideal fixture for any player, because arguably you could say Bournemouth are the worst team in the league. No disrespect to Bournemouth, but everyone predicted them to finish bottom of the league, and I will still stick to my point that Bournemouth at home is a good fixture. They did beat Aston Villa, but again, look, Aston Villa was poor and Bournemouth punished them. Man City are a top side. They are the defending champions, and you can't compare Man City to Aston Villa. Man City, they are playing at home, the Etihad. It is Cancelo's first home game of the season, and he will want to look to impress. Again, City are playing really well. During the West Ham game, they dominated it, and if they dominated this game as well, I see it as a very high scoring game. You could say 4 to 5-0, even 3-0 win, and hopefully a clean sheet, because looking at the West Ham game, looking at those statistics, I just don't see City conceding against Bournemouth. And lastly, in defense, we have Reece James. Now, it was a tough decision between him, Perisic, and all these players, but look, I favor him over Andreas Pereira, Perisic, and Leon Bailey, because Tottenham at home is a tough game. Sure, Tottenham will score the goal. I fully expect Tottenham to score. With the front line of Kane, Son, and Kulusevski, you're not going to tell me that Chelsea is going to get a clean sheet. They could, and it could be a low-scoring game, or it could end as a 0-0, but the point of keeping Reece James in the team is because of his attacking threat. If he plays as a wing-back, he will get those points. He will get up, he will get his chances, and if he finishes those chances, he could get a massive haul. We know what he is capable of, like last season. We've seen it before, so that's the one main reason I will be looking to start him over Perisic, as he also did play 90 minutes in game week 1, and he did play as a wing back. Now, there is talks about him playing as a right centre back. Of course, they're playing Tottenham, who has Son on the left wing, quick pace, and you could say that play Cucurella on the right wing back and Ben Chilwell and Reece James as right centre back, because Azpilicueta's pace isn't that good, but still, I believe James will play as a right wing back. The fact that Chelsea are still looking for a centre back shows that I don't see James moving into that position. They have Koulibaly, who will occupy left centre back, and then they have Thiago Silva through the middle and Azpilicueta down the right centre back. They did sign Cucurella, which we could see Koulibaly shift to the right centre back. He is right-footed, but he's preferred to play as a left centre back. And then we could see Cucurella slot in as the left centre back. So it's very complicated, but even though if he doesn't play right wing back, we could see a Chelsea clean sheet. They are still a very strong team, and we have to not see Chelsea as the weak preseason team. Of course, they will make signings, they will look to improve, but they are still a really top team. Moving on to the midfield, Mohamed Salah, he's here to stay. He's not going anywhere. He did picked up a double-digit points in game week 1, and again, he will be that crucial player in the Liverpool front line. Darwin Núñez coming in, I don't see him as a threat to Salah's goals and assists. I think that just makes it better for Salah to get more chances, to get a really good finisher, Darwin Núñez, to finish with chances. So I don't see Darwin Núñez as a threat to Salah's attacking returns. I see as a a positive thing, a pro instead of a disadvantage for Salah. I think he will still be a really good FPL option, and if not the best FPL player in FPL history. So Salah, he's here to stay. Not much to talk about him. He's a really good option. If he hauls, he hauls, because he is one of the better FPL players, and if not the best FPL player of all time. Next, we have Gabriel Martinelli. Now, again, 6.1. He did go out in price after his brilliant performance against Crystal Palace. He is such a good option, and for me, he is still the first choice winger for Arsenal, the first choice left winger. Smith Rowe, he's just coming back from an injury. You know, Arteta won't risk it to play Smith Rowe in that position. With Martinelli's great performance, I just see him not going anywhere, and he's going to be staying in my team. He will still stay in the Arsenal team because he is such a great and young talent for Arsenal. And to be fair, those rumors of him getting rotated, a threat, to be fair, I don't believe in those because he is still a great option and he's here to stay in my team. Leicester at home. Leicester have been really weak defensively last year, and it just shows that Leicester, when they went 2-0 up against Brentford, they did concede 2 goals. So Leicester are still a weak defense and a good fixture to target, and they're playing at home this time. So I just don't see a reason to bench or sell Martinelli. He will stay in my team. He's still a great option, and I fully believe he will get something out of this game. Next, we have Pedro Neto. Now, Neto, you could say it was a disappointing performance against Fulham, but for me, he was one of the better players on the pitch for Wolves. He did create those chances. He's dribbling past players. He's taking players one-on-one, and that just shows that he's getting the confidence, and hopefully goals will come. Now, I did say FPL, you have to be patient FPL. But again, if you're playing a player like Neto, who we haven't really seen much of until last seen in the 2021 season, where a lot of people were hyping him up, but if he fails to deliver this week, next week they play Spurs, I could look to sell him during that week. So this could be his final chance in my team, and I've talked about being patient, but some players you have to be less patient, like a player like Neto, who has really a lot of option at his price point. Aronson played well for Leeds, so a lot of options at his price point, and for us FPL managers, we do want those FPL points, and the FPL points do matter at the end. No matter what he's performing, how many skills he's making, I just think we will have to be more greedy with those FPL points, and for players like Neto, we have to be less patient. So could be his final week in my team, but still, Fulham at home is a great fixture. Fulham did draw against Liverpool, but again, they are still that newly promoted side coming to the Prem. Still, we don't know what to expect from them, and Wolves have shifted into a 4 at the back, so they could be more attacking, and they will focus more on their offensive play than defensive play. So Neto, for me, he will be still in my team this week. He's still a great option, but again, it could be his last time in my team. And lastly, to finish up the midfield, I have Leon Bailey against Everton at home. Now, Everton did shift to a 3 at the back. They are playing slightly more defensive as they signed Conor Cody on loan from Wolves. They just nearly confirmed they are playing a 3 at the back. And to be fair, I don't see Bailey's position in the team at risk. I think he played 90 minutes. That just shows Steven Gerrard is still willing to put trust in Leon Bailey and to start him. Now, there was rumors of Leon Bailey not predicted not to start in the Aston Villa team, but most importantly, those rumors, they are called rumors for a reason, and we don't have to believe in those rumors. For me, if Gerrard wasn't impressed by Leon Bailey's performance, why did he keep him on 90 minutes on the pitch? They have 5 subs to make, and they could easily bring on Archer or Ollie Watkins, Phil Coutinho to take him out. So for me, he will stay in my team, and I think he will start this game. But again, could be his final week in my team. But he's so cheap, 0.5 cheaper than Neto. I just see him as a great bench option as well. So could be his final time in my team, and hopefully he pulls off a great performance against Everton. Everton have been strong defensively, but again, they are still a very weak defense, a very weak team under Frank Lampard. So hopefully he starts, and I still see him as a starter for Aston Villa, and at 5 mil, it's just a brilliant price point for a starting Aston Villa forward. Now let's start off with our front line. We have the man himself, the king, Erling Haaland, 11.6 mil. He did went up in price, and to be fair, fully deserved. a brace against West Ham, a really good performance for him. And now playing Bournemouth at home, this is the ideal fixture we all dreamt of playing Erling Haaland against Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth, a newly promoted side, you could say one of the weaker promoted sides, and Man City, the best team in the Premier League. It's gonna be a good fixture for Haaland. Haaland's gonna feast in this fixture, and I just don't see his place at the team a risk. I think he will start this game. He will play 90 minutes unless an injury comes. So Haaland, he's a great option and probably my captain for this week. And lastly, Gabriel Jesus, he stays my team. Leicester at home is a great fixture for Arsenal. Again, Leicester have been really weak defensively this year and last season. So a very poor defensive team, which an Arsenal team which just won their first opening game, who look to keep possession on the ball. I just see Jesus as a brilliant option, and with his ownership, I think it's just a no-brainer to start him. Moving on to my bench, we do have Ward, a great backup, but I just don't see myself starting him. He did start game week 1, and I believe Leicester did sign a third choice keeper, which was Smith, I believe from Cardiff. So that just nearly confirms that Ward will be the first choice keeper, because you don't sign a third choice keeper to be a fourth choice keeper, if you make sense. Because if you sign Smiths, then you won't look to sign another goalkeeper to be your starting keeper. So I feel Brendan Rodgers have put a lot of trust into Ward, and I think he will be the starting keeper for Leicester. But a fixture against Arsenal, I just don't see him starting. Next, we have Perisic. Now, he is on my bench. Now, it was really close between him, James, and Bailey. But for me, I think Chelsea is at home, and that favored me towards James. And James is playing as a wing back. His place in the team is guaranteed at Chelsea, no matter what position he plays. And then Perisic, he's not even guaranteed the first 11 for now, as Sessegnon did play really well against Southampton. So we don't know what to expect. But this again could be a really poor decision for me in my Game Week 1 team, going with Perisic, and this could be his final time in my team. So I'm benching him for this one and waiting and see for the upcoming fixtures. If he starts against Chelsea, I see him as a great option for the upcoming weeks, but now he will stick on my bench and I will favor James over him. Next, we have Andreas Pereira. Now, again, I put him on my bench. I really want to play him over Reece James. I feel like I'm a very fixture-proof manager, and I feel like Wolves away is a better fixture than Tottenham at home, of course. But Reece James' attacking threat is really high, and if I bench him, I could be punished by his massive hauls, because he's going to be at the wing-back position. If he starts at the wing-back position, he will be goal-threatening, and he will get those advanced positions to score. So Andreas Pereira remains on my bench, but I could make a last-minute move to take out Liam Bailey or Reece James. I favor Liam Bailey in my team just because that fixture is slightly better, and I feel like, Fulham are still that team who just came up, and they pull off a surprising result. That doesn't mean they are still a top team. They are still a newly promoted side who could get smashed by Wolves. So we don't know what to expect, but if Fulham pull off a decent performance against Wolves, we could see Andreas Pereira starting my team. But he's still a great budget enabler option, and I feel like he will be staying in my team. He will be a second on my bench, because I feel like Perisic has that potential in him to start and get a goal and assist. So just in case, I'm going to put Perisic over Andreas on my bench. And lastly, Archer, he did come on for Aston Villa against Bournemouth in the opening game for Aston Villa. Cameron Archer did get 8 minutes and he did get 1 point. So I don't see at this early on this season, with no cup competitions, with no European competitions, I just don't see a lot of my players getting rotated. So for now, he will still remain on my bench. So captaincy real quick. Haaland is going to be my captain. Salah is going to be my vice captain. I think it's a no-brainer to go for Haaland, but I also really want to consider Cancelo as a captaincy option, or even Mohamed Salah. Both are great options. These three are great options, but still, I will favor Haaland. Look, he's a machine, and for me, Bournemouth is a simple fixture, an easier fixture than Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace was one of the top 6 best defensive sides last year, so the statistics proves it that Crystal Palace will be a tough game. So Haaland's my captain, Salah's my vice. Just letting you guys know these teams are not confirmed, it's not locked in. I could change come game week 1. Go follow me on Twitter. I will be posting my final team there. And it's been me, Just FPL, and I'll see you guys in the next one.